Imagine a scenario where an economic war breaks out between two powerful economies, India and America. What would be the potential impact? Would it be a mere blip on the global economic radar, or a seismic shift that could reshape the world as we know it? Such a confrontation could have far-reaching implications, not just for these two nations, but for the entire global economy. This video will shed light on the potential losses both economies might face. So brace yourself for an intriguing economic exploration. To understand the potential impact, we must first understand the economies of both India and America. Let's dive in, starting with America, known as the world's largest economy. The United States prides itself on a highly developed and diverse economy. This powerhouse boasts significant strengths in sectors like technology, healthcare, and finance. However, it's not all sunshine and roses. America's weaknesses lie in its sizable trade deficit and substantial national debt, which could become a vulnerability in an economic war. Now, let's hop over to India, the world's fifth largest economy. India's economic strengths revolve around its vast labor pool, its steadily growing tech sector, and its dominance in the global generic pharmaceutical market. The country's agricultural sector also plays a crucial role, employing a substantial chunk of the country's population. However, India grapples with its share of weaknesses. These include infrastructure deficiencies, a significant portion of the population still living in poverty, and a somewhat heavy reliance on oil imports for its energy needs. It's also worth noting the sectors where both countries excel. In the tech world, America is home to tech giants like Apple, Google, and Microsoft, while India houses a burgeoning IT industry and a booming startup scene. In healthcare, the US leads in medical research and innovation, and India is a global leader in the production of generic drugs. On the flip side, both countries face challenges in certain sectors. For instance, America's manufacturing sector has been on a long-term decline, losing ground to countries with lower labor costs. Meanwhile, India's agricultural sector, despite being a significant employer, suffers from low productivity and is vulnerable to climate change. Knowing this, we can begin to explore the potential losses if an economic war were to occur. But remember, economies are complex, and these are just a few of the many factors that would come into play. Let's start with America, a leading global economy. What would be the potential losses for the land of opportunity if it found itself in an economic war with India? Let's delve into that. First off, we have to consider the intertwined nature of the global economy. It's a complex web of interdependencies, and a significant player like India pulling out could send shockwaves through the system. One of the most glaring areas of potential impact is the information technology sector. America, being a tech hub, relies heavily on Indian IT services and professionals. In fact, India contributes to over 75% of the foreign IT workforce in the US. An economic war could mean a severe talent crunch and skyrocketing costs for American tech companies. Next, we've got the pharmaceutical sector. India is often referred to as the pharmacy of the world, and supplies a large chunk of generic drugs to the US market. Disruptions in this supply chain could lead to a spike in drug prices, affecting healthcare affordability for millions of Americans. Then there's manufacturing. Many American companies have set up manufacturing units in India to leverage cost advantages. An economic standoff could force them to seek alternative locations, which could be an expensive and time-consuming process. Let's not forget about potential job losses. The US benefits from the employment generated by Indian companies. In the year 2023 alone, Indian firms created over 100,000 jobs in America. An economic war could see these numbers dwindle, impacting employment rates. And finally, the stock market. With investors always on the lookout for stability, the uncertainty of an economic war could lead to market volatility, causing a potential fall in stock prices. So, an economic war could have serious implications for the American economy. It's a chain reaction that could ripple through every sector, underlining the importance of maintaining economic harmony on the global stage. Now let's turn our attention to India, a rapidly growing economy. India's economic growth story has been remarkable. But an economic war with America could have severe implications. Let's delve into the potential losses for India. A key sector that could face significant impact is information technology. India has a robust IT and IT-enabled services industry, with America being one of its largest consumers. An economic war could lead to reduced contracts, impacting not only the revenue but also the employment within this sector. Millions of jobs are tied to this industry, and a downturn could lead to substantial job losses. Next, we move to the textile industry. India is one of the largest exporters of textiles and apparel globally, and the US is a significant market. An economic war could result in trade restrictions or high tariffs, leading to a slump in exports. This could potentially jeopardize the livelihood of millions of workers in this sector, particularly in rural areas where alternative employment opportunities may be limited. The services sector, encompassing areas like travel, tourism, and business services, also stands to lose. The US is a major source of foreign tourists to India, and any reduction in travel due to economic tensions could hit the tourism industry hard. Similarly, American companies extensively utilize India's business services sector, and any disruption could lead to a loss of revenue and jobs. Furthermore, foreign investment could take a hit. The US is a significant source of foreign direct investment in India. A downturn in relations could deter American companies from investing in India, slowing down the country's economic growth. In addition, the ripple effects of these impacts could be felt across the economy. Lower revenues and job losses could lead to reduced consumer spending, potentially triggering a slowdown in other sectors of the economy. Clearly, an economic war would be devastating for the Indian economy as well. The potential losses are significant, and it underscores the importance of maintaining good economic relations between these two nations. It's a sobering reminder of just how interconnected our global economies have become. So, what have we learned from this discussion? We've unpicked the intricate dynamics between the economies of India and America, two powerhouses that play a significant role on the world stage. It's clear that an economic war between these two nations would result in substantial losses on both sides. For America, an economic war could lead to a significant shrinkage of its market in India. This would affect a myriad of sectors, from technology to pharmaceuticals. The potential loss of millions of jobs, both domestically and abroad, can't be ignored. Such a conflict would also likely disrupt supply chains, causing ripples throughout the American economy and beyond. On the flip side, we've also looked at how India could suffer. A major concern is the potential drop in foreign investment, particularly from American companies. This could stifle growth and innovation, hampering India's economic progress. Additionally, the loss of access to American technology and resources could have far-reaching implications across various sectors. But the losses wouldn't be confined to these two nations. The shockwaves from such an economic war would reverberate globally, affecting international trade, global markets, and the livelihoods of people far beyond the borders of India and America. In conclusion, an economic war between India and America would be a lose-lose situation, affecting not just these two countries, but the global economy as well.